Hey everybody, welcome to this Caregiver Coffee. My name is Matthew Estrad. I'm a gerontologist in St. Tammany Parish, and you've probably seen me on other videos, or perhaps this is your first one. If it is, welcome. In these 10 to 15 minute videos, we try to bring you some practical information you can put into action around aging health in a healthy way and caregiving. Perhaps you're a caregiver for somebody or you're aging yourself. We try to bring you topics that are very relevant. Today, we'll be talking about simplifying nutrition. I should say that I am not a registered dietitian. I'm not a dietitian on TV. I don't play one on TV. Um, but I've done a little bit of research and I'm going to give you some information that kind of hopefully will help simplify making meals and making sure that you and your loved one have proper nutrition. So this is not a substitute for the advice of a medical provider or even a registered dietitian. We'll talk a little bit more about that. But I hope that this is going to be helpful to you and especially simple so you can put into practice. Before we get into this topic of eating in a healthy and simplified way, just a little bit of a plug for our caregiver support group. I am the caregiver support group facilitator for the Council on Aging in St. Tammany. I don't work, I don't work for Coast, but I work with Coast to present this every Tuesday evening from 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. And I encourage you to get on our email list. It's a private email list. It's free. It just means that you get an email just about every Tuesday morning, sometimes the day before, as a reminder that we are meeting either in person or virtually. And then you also will get the a copy of our 2 month schedule. We offer a new calendar every 2 months, and then so you'll have access to that to download that to put on your refrigerator, keep track of when we're meeting. So typically, like I said, it is Tuesday evenings that we meet. Although, when Christmas falls on or Christmas Eve falls on a Tuesday, or say Mardi Gras every year is on a Tuesday, so we end up shifting instead of canceling, we end up shifting to a different date, usually in that week. So that's why it's a good idea to get that calendar. But the basic format of each month is that the first Tuesday evening of the month, we're in Slidell at the Senior Activity Center. We're in person. The second Tuesday of the month, we are on the Zoom platform, so you can join us on your smartphone or your tablet or your computer, or even just call in. The third Tuesday evening of the month, we are back in person at this time in Covington at the Senior Activity Center. And then the fourth Tuesday evening of the month, we are back on Zoom. Sometimes there's a fifth Tuesday in the month. Sometimes we meet, sometimes we don't, but we'll let you know ahead of time, which if we are or if we're taking taking a break. So anyway, hope you consider joining us, and let's jump into this topic of nutrition in a simplified way. So this information is called the three-part plate method. It originated with Swedish research in the 1970s. It was adopted by the American Diabetes Association in the 1980s. It's sort of morphed over the years, but it's pretty consistent with what the USDA and Department of Health and Human Services promotes these days. So again, I'm not a registered dietitian, and diets and nutritional needs vary from person to person. So we're just being very general. I think it is a good idea to do more research into this, but as you'll see, I think you'll agree it's sort of common sense. We're trying to simplify things. We can get very technical, but we're not. And that could, this hopefully make it easier to put into practice. Um, the particular health insurance that I have, the medical insurance I have, helps me get access to a registered dietitian. So I do that every 2 months or so. I've not done that forever. Still not a full 12 months yet, but I found it very helpful because they work with me. They know my fitness goals and caloric goals, and they kind of help me set targets and come up with menus and recipes and things like that. So you might want to check into whatever health insurance that you have. It may cover some or all of a dietitian visit on a regular basis. Might be a copay. And then if that doesn't work, there are lots of if you just look, I imagine that there are sort of like nutritional classes here and there in the community. So with that, so it's important to make sure that we're all getting nutrition, especially as we age. And there are common nutritions for older adults. And remember, this is for you as an older adult, or if you're not an older adult, you might be caring for someone. So there are many struggles, and we hope that this will address some of these. So there can be an appetite loss. There can be chewing or swallowing problems. There can be side effects from medication, making you less hungry, so loss of appetite. Depression or grief can cause someone to not want to eat what they usually have or what their nutritional needs call for. Someone could be on a fixed income and not be able to afford the groceries to really get enough nutrition. And sometimes someone may forget to eat. That could be just like a very busy schedule, or it could be something more serious like cognitive decline. So we're hoping to simplify, as I mentioned, a method that most people, if not everybody, can use. And it's called the three-part method. It constitutes, if you think about a plate, a quarter of that plate is protein, and I'm gonna come back and give some examples. A quarter of the plate is produce. I'm sorry, a half is produce. Sorry, not a quarter, a half. So a quarter protein, half a plate of produce, and then quarter of that plate is whole grains. So going back to the protein, that's some examples, but certainly not all things, all forms of protein: eggs, yogurt, chicken, beans, fish. This helps maintain muscle and strength. And then there's produce. This could be fresh produce, frozen, or canned. And you want to think about colorful foods that basically this means more nutrients. Then a quarter of the plate, as mentioned, is whole grains, oats, brown rice, whole grain bread. This helps with energy as well as digestion. So why does this simplified three-part plate method work? It's easy to remember. We can all kind of picture half of the plate, a quarter, and a quarter. It's flexible. It works with almost every budget. It helps caregivers and older adults it helps them to avoid overthinking. So I highly encourage you to think about adopting this as we talk more about it. So let's talk about some real world meal ideas. So the idea is to give some practical and fast, affordable options for you to pick from. And just like with many of the videos, I hope that you're going to take notes, or at least when you hear an idea that you like and possibly will follow through with, jot that down. And of course, this is recorded, so you can always go back, but it helps if you're taking a few bullet points here and there. All right, so there are soups and stews, smoothies, soft foods. There's batch cooking, there's high protein shakes that we'll cover real quick in these easy meal ideas. So soups and stews, they're soft, they're hydrating, they can be easy to digest. You can make it once, so make one big pot either on the stove or on the crock pot, and then you can eat on it for days. You can also freeze it. Smoothies, these are great for someone who has a poor appetite. You can add protein powder, you can add yogurt, you can add fruit, you can add cottage cheese. Even if you don't like cottage cheese, the flavor or which is really doesn't taste like anything, or the consistency of cottage cheese, that's a just like yogurt, that's a high protein source. There are soft foods that someone may need because of things going on in their mouth or having difficulty in swallowing. Scrambled eggs, mashed sweet potatoes, tuna salad, and cottage cheese bowls. Think about batch cooking. That means cook once, as we were talking with the soups, and then freeze portions or eat on it for a few days or both. This can save energy, money. It saves time with cleaning up. You're getting one pot and some utensils, maybe something else dirty, but it's not a lot of things. You're making a lot out of the dishes that you are making dirty at that point. And then think about lastly, high protein snacks. These can be cheese sticks, regular fat or low fat, peanut butter, Greek yogurt, hard-boiled eggs. Circling back to a couple of these, peanut butter, if you are concerned about fat in the peanut butter, because it does contain a good bit of saturated fat. You can get stuff that's basically a protein powder, and then you add water to that and you stir it to whatever consistency you want. It doesn't taste as it's not a complete substitute for peanut butter, but it provides a lot of protein, and it has, I want to say it has 80% less fat than peanut butter normally does. And I've certainly enjoyed working that into my diet instead of the full fat peanut butter, or just use that on I use the full fat on a certain occasions. Greek yogurt is awesome because you can get that in the tubs. You can get it unflavored, and then you could add fruit to it. So it could taste a little tart, but but when you add fruit to it, or you can even add that peanut butter powder I was talking about, or you can add other flavors, protein powder that's flavored, you end up, making something that is very high in protein, that is easy to make, doesn't require any cooking. So big on protein. Hydration strategies. Let's talk about that because we know that's super important. It's not just nutrition. I think we think mostly of, eating food, chewing food, but hydration is part of nutrition and very important to have a balanced diet. So you can some strategies for hydration are flavoring water with fruit, offering broth or soups, using hydration reminders. Those can be post-it notes, those can be on your phone. There's probably some hydration apps that are free. I don't know. But there seems to be an app for almost everything. So why not that? Keep water within reach and within eyesight, of course, but in reach helps as well. Use cups with lids, use straws. So just try to figure out like what might be the challenge. Is it remembering? Is it reaching? Is it how you're ingesting it? Is it the flavor? Um, because there are people that don't like water. They want some flavor. So you can flavor with fruit. I would say that there's also some powders, low calorie powders or no calorie powders, and concentrated flavor drops that you can, of various brands that you can get to flavor water if it's bland for you. And you can also think about, some people like something fizzy. So you can get, a soda machine that makes, I don't have one, but you can get sparkling water, or you can get one of those soda. There's, a bunch of soda machines that turn water into sparkling water, and you can even flavor those. So that's an idea for you. Some signs of dehydration are confusion, dark urine, fatigue, and dizziness. So let's talk about adults who have special dietary needs. That's diabetes, heart disease, it could be swallowing issues we mentioned before, weight loss. So with diabetes, it's important to have balanced meals and to get specific advice from your doctor, your nurse, or your dietitian. Avoid sugary drinks and pair carbs with proteins. For heart disease, your basic guidelines. Again, you want to talk to your medical provider, but your basic guidelines are low sodium, lean proteins, and healthy fats. For swallowing issues, think about soft foods or thickened liquids, but that is only if it's recommended. Highly recommend getting the advice of a speech pathologist. You sometimes, if swallowing is an issue, talking with your medical provider, keeping in touch with them, seeing if a swallowing test with a speech pathologist is in order. Many times that is covered by insurance. It may or may not require a referral, but they'll be able to perform a swallowing test and kind of figure out what might be going, why you're having trouble swallowing. They can suggest things like exercises, and they can recommend the different foods that would be appropriate for them. But please don't forget about adding that person to your team, speech language pathologist, if you have any swallowing issues and your doctor is on board with that. Weight loss can be another consideration. So consider adding healthy calories if someone is losing weight at a rate that is not healthy, and you're trying to like maintain someone's weight. You can add healthy calories such as nut butters, avocado, olive oil. So definitely think about that because I know that's a common concern in our support group. Might be someone, a loved one who they're taking care of, not maintaining their weight, so they'll use protein and other drinks that are going to be high in calories. But don't forget about these oils that we mentioned. So how to shop smart on a budget? Frozen produce, remember, is just as nutritious. Store brands can help save money. Buy in bulk when possible, when you can afford it, or in the long run. And also think about the storage when you're buying in bulk. Plan meals around sales and use simple recipes with few ingredients. And I would even suggest if you're someone who is comfortable using Chat GPT on your phone or the computer or other different AI assistants, you can even tell tell the AI I have these ingredients at home, or suggest some recipes for this, or I like these ingredients. Make a menu for me this week. So excuse me. So think about using adding AI to your team in that way. All right, so we're at the end of this brief video on nutrition. Remember, you want to get advice from your registered dietitian or your medical provider. Think about getting a referral to a dietitian or attending classes where they can answer questions and do things, suggest things based on your needs. So thanks for watching this and all the other ones. I hope you catch the other videos that we've made on behalf of Coast. And until next time, I hope you have a wonderful day, wonderful week until you join us again. Take care.